When it comes to doing income taxes, we're almost all scoundrels and innovators. Here we have this poem by Douglas Getch, who taught at a competitive high school in New York City and is well known for writing an article condemning cheating on tests. Students were even putting facts on graphic calculators, hiding chemistry formulas under the toilet seats. One student complained that he could find the formulas under the toilet seat, but he couldn't figure out how to use them. Another student hid some math formulas on the inside of the label of his Coke bottle. The teacher who was proctoring the test couldn't figure out why the student was so darn thirsty. Then on a math test, the student who was weak in math paid his identical twin brother $200 to take the test for him and got an excellent score. And in another big math exam, with no calculators allowed, a student had a calculator on his watch and forgot to turn the sound off. Suddenly, everyone in the room hears 9 times 763. These high school students prepared him to notice people testing the limits and preparing their taxes. This poem is Joe's Tax. Are we ever more innocent than when doing taxes? I'm not talking about how we robbed the country by deducting the case of Alpo we bought on Take Your Dog to Work Day, but just the helpless look on our faces the weekend in early spring we spend at a desk or dining room table strewn with receipts and instructions from a government so much bigger than us, hovering in space like a circle of priests. Even if we believe every hair is numbered, who could possibly account for a year without fudging? Our glasses slipping down our noses as we wonder which cab rides, how many square feet of our home, what percentage of a phone bill was business. I know a man who wrote off dates with women, restaurant checks, gifts of chocolate and flowers. And when they ordered him, he told them he was a love poet. Conducting research. He even brought along one of his books. My grandpa loved to recount the year he dumped a shoebox full of receipts on the tax man's desk, threw up his arms and said, "Knock yourself out." Even if you rendered unto Caesar, the IRS could still be waiting for you at the gates. Here I've claimed $3,400 in psychotherapy bills under medical expenses. But can I? Joe will know. Joe at Joe's Tax in Brooklyn, where I'll take the F train tomorrow and sit half the day in a storefront where a sign reads, "This is a waiting room. If you are not prepared to wait, you are in the wrong room." Joe works with his wife, son, and 6 others on a sort of platform, a few steps up, where everyone hears everything. So I hope he doesn't bring up the $3,400 for psychotherapy. The customers with their stubs and papers look like ancient children outside the principal's office. Last year, we looked up to see a guy break into a happy dance when he found out he was getting a refund. Barry Manilow's Copacabana blasted from somewhere. Joe's wife handed the man a pair of blinking neon glasses, videotaped him on her smartphone, and posted it to YouTube before Joe could say, "Next!" That's what I call good therapy, or religion, or maybe just a full accounting. This next poem is called Trigger Tries to Explain. Roy Rogers was born Leonard Sly and was happily married to Dale Evans for 51 years. She was in almost all his movies and TV shows. She sang with him, wrote songs like Happy Trails, which was their theme song, and they were almost inseparable. But in an interview once, Roy said that the best thing that ever happened to him was his horse Trigger. In this poem by Barbara Hamby, Trigger responds to Roy's comment and makes a few snarky and negative comments about how the movies and TV have changed since his time. You remember that the horse was stuffed and placed in a third-rate museum near Disneyland. At this point in his life, Trigger is a little pessimistic. You might even call him a naysayer. Trigger tries to explain. "Oh, Dale, he didn't mean it when he said I was the best thing that ever happened to him, if he even said it. Chalk it up to the RKO publicity machine. I'm a horse, a dead one at that, mounted in the museum, with glass eyes and looking a little ratty as the tubby farmer fans file by with their bewildered, bored kids who are thinking, Golden Palomino, my ass. I can't believe he brought us here instead of Disneyland. The boys looking like overgrown insects and the girls like prostitutes. In their halter tops, jean short shorts, and platform shoes. It would have killed Roy to see them being such a goody-goody. Always Leonard Sly just beneath the skin with his Oklahoma homilies, making everyone feel safe and sound. Oh, sure, the big bad Nazis were gone, but there were plenty of villains left. On the left, the commies, on the right, the McCarthyites. Poor Dale, you had a horse too. What was her name? You were Queen of the West until you gained 100 pounds on fried rashers, donuts, Wonder Bread, and bakery cakes. Okay, so it couldn't last forever. Get over it, Trigger, I tell myself. Television is fickle. Now, it's hospital shows, blood and angst, undercut with tawdry sex. I blame the French. Frigging cinema verite. Where's the story? The hero? The beautiful girl? Where's the horse? The other dead horses say, whoa, don't get excited, Trigger. Nothing's the way it was. That's the truth. Ah, youth, I try not to be bitter. But sometimes I dream about Zorro Now, there was a guy who could make a horse look good.